Yeah, so I'm gonna go like hiking the mountains out today, but I'm gonna go up to Hood and maybe I'll do a little snowshoeing. Oh, hi everybody. Welcome back to the West Coast Avengers. Emphasis on the West Coast. I'm your host Dave, your comic guru, your Bronze Age Bodhisattva. Before we jump into today's video, please don't forget to hit the like button, and if you're not subscribed, please do so. I'm on the road to 2,500 subscribers, which is just a halfway point between 2,000 and 3,000, and once we hit 3,000, there's going to be a party. And also drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about my haul. And every Wednesday is West Coast Wednesday, my comic book claim sale where you can buy comics from me right here on this channel. I just came back from a nice little vacation in Portland, which is a city that's only about 2 hours south from me, and I used to live there. But as you've heard me talk about it on the program before, it is littered, and I mean that in a positive way. It is littered with comic book stores. There's something like 15 to 20 comic stores in the greater Portland area as well as in the city, and it is a delightful place to spend a couple of days. I even lived there for 9 months, so I really enjoy it. It's got many nicknames. It is a very kitschy city. The show Portlandia, honestly, about 90% accurate without embellishment. To give you an example, the week that I moved to Portland and the first 7 days that I lived in Portland on the east side of the city, I saw two separate people at two separate times walking down the street juggling. You don't see that in too many American cities, especially because they weren't juggling knives or anything. They were just juggling, just juggling. Fantastic food city. I can make a bold claim, but I don't really think it's that bold to anybody that spent time in Portland. The best city on the West Coast for food. Beats LA, beats San Francisco, and sure as hell beats Seattle. But the comic stores, let's talk about the comic stores. So I spent 2 days in Portland. I went to 9 comic stores, something like that, if you include Powell's in there. Powell's, probably the greatest bookstore in the country, or at least the West Coast, maybe only to be bested by the Strand in New York City. But there are some other great bookstores in this country. I haven't been to them all. What a delight it is to just spend time in that city. I feel very comfortable there. Look, I'm a Northwesterner, so I got my beanie, I got my flannel. I've really adapted to living here in the almost decade that I've lived here. But let's get to the comics, okay? Historically, Portland is a comic city through and through. Dark Horse Comics started there. Image Comics moved there. I believe there's a couple other small publishers that are there, or at least have offices there. But those are the two big indie ones, obviously Dark Horse being a pillar of Portland since its inception in 1986 or 87. So I'm going to walk you through some of the stuff I got. I've got a lot of footage to show you, so why don't we take a look at the footage per store, and then, we'll cut back in. I'll show you what I got at that store, and then we'll go back to the footage. So buckle up, enjoy the ride. Here we go. How was your monster Halloween thingamabob?
Con?
Yeah, how was that?
Well, it wasn't very monstery, but it was kind of we had a lot of fun.
That's good. I mean,
We had probably about 70 tables.
Nice.
And a good turnout. So we'll be doing another one.
It was your first one, right? Yeah.
Well,
So
first one in this location.
right. So I mean, first one, you get your footing in this location,
Yep.
and
And it grows. You re-invite the vendors over and over, and they keep growing.
yeah, cool. I'm glad it was good. Civil War Chronicles.
Alright, I'm ready.
4, 5, 6, 7. Get some autographs. 7. That's 20.
Wait, did you say there's some autograph ones?
21. No, it's 21.
Oh, get some autographs.
23, 24. 28.
Oh, it's his dad. Cool.
Do you use cards?
Okay, these are the first series.
His name is Rich Hamilton.
That's you.
That's me.
This is yours? Oh, that's fucking dope, Rich.
Thank you.
I really like that.
I'm still layering it. Once I layer it, it'll be a 3D popper.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I'm working on the little intricacies down here.
Sure.
I like this wash that happened right in here. I'm trying to redo the wash.
All right, so the first stop was Fallout Comics, which is usually my first or last stop because it is kind of close to the edge of the city, and once you cross the river, you are in Washington. So Fallout Comics, a great place to dig. The guy who runs it, Rich, very interesting guy. I believe he does 3 live sales on Facebook every week, maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They're a little nuts, but it is a fun place to dig around, and he let me dig through everything. He even actually asked me if I wanted to come back to help him go through more boxes and pull out books. And I said, possibly, could spend a day doing it, but, it'd be something that I'd either have to get a decent amount in credit on books or, a bunch of shit for free, because time's money, and 2 hours there and 2 hours back. It's going to take a while. I don't know. Dynamic Forces, I see Danger Girl, I see Dynamic Forces, I see a square-bound book, and I see J. Scott Campbell's name. So I just grabbed it. I haven't even opened it. I haven't looked at it yet. But I assume it's probably like a $20 book, maybe a little bit more. Got to do my research on it. Snagged a couple of these low print run, tough to find Scarlet Witch books. So that's issue number 13 and 15 with those David Aja covers. A nice little bit of 90s nostalgia in a CD-ROM right here. I don't even know how much he charged me for this, but I don't really care. It's pretty dope. Stan Lee presents Marvel Online, presented to you by America Online. I believe this is still sealed, so I found this in the bins. Monstrous number 10, which is a Spawn 1 homage. It's like a $15, $20 book. And I got a nice stack of stuff from Fallout. After that, I went over to the Lloyd Center Mall, which is the new location for Floating World Comics. Floating World Comics is one of the most unique comic stores in the country. They started as a kind of like small press zine indie comic store. Then they started getting into publishing one of the more successful indie writers in our time in the last 10 years is Charles Forsman. So they finally moved locations from downtown to Lloyd Center Mall. So let's take a look inside that store. One of the greatest comic stores in the country. Oh, this just came out. The thing I really love about Floating World is I'll walk around and I'll look at all the small press books and the independent books, and I'll get some names of artists that I might have heard in passing, or I'll see a piece of art that really looks beautiful and I'll pick up that book without looking on the inside. And I know my dollars are going to eventually go to the creator and they're going to go to the store too, so I'm supporting both things. UK. So you're going to find art, you're going to find vinyl toys, going to find a lot of Japan imported stuff, a lot of indie. You get your weekly books, your new trades, hardcovers. It's really kind of an all-purpose store. It's one of those places that when you walk into, you may feel overwhelmed. The people that work there will happily suggest you some stuff to read or buy based on what you might like. There's just a lot of stuff in there that is small press, and you will not find it anywhere else. I just picked up 2 things there. One of them was his Comics Journal number 121 with an R. Crumb interview, which I'm excited to read. And I picked up the first of the new series from Dark Horse, reprinting with new coloring all of Richard Corbin's work. And this is Murky World. This is the first of the 2 volumes that are out, but they are going to be doing a whole bunch more. Jose Villarrubia is doing the coloring, so I'm excited to check this out. You're not going to have too much longer to pick this up because once they're gone, they're most likely never going to be reprinted. Pick this up if you get a chance. So those were the 2 things I picked up at Floating World Comics. The next day, I really tried to make way and get to as many stores as I could. First on the list was Future Dreams on Burnside. It's actually only about a 10-minute walk from my old apartment, so area I know very well. Future Dreams, let's take a look at this crazy dig in paradise.
Hello.
Hello. Do they have everything you need to work from home?
As much as I really do love Future Dreams and the guy who runs it's very sweet, I wish I could look through this store, but you can only really get to about 20 to 40% of it. He's very knowledgeable about the stuff that he has that's out on the floor for sale. He has a lot of very cool out-of-print stuff behind the counter. You will find stuff in there. It's just there's so much more that is not available for sale. Anyway, I picked up an extra copy of this, which will probably be a giveaway for Dave Endricon or something. This is a book I do love, and I love to recommend to people. This is Charles Vess's Spider-Man, Spirits of the Earth. Story of Peter and Mary Jane spending their holiday in Scotland, and it's a ghost story. One of the most beautiful Spider-Man books ever created. You've never seen a Spider-Man story that looks like this. If you're familiar with Spider-Man, you're familiar with Charles Vess. Most notably, Charles Vess in the Spider-Man world. Web of Spider-Man #1 cover. Some of the greatest covers on that run in the black suit and also in the regular suit. So if you do get a chance to buy a copy of this, it's not expensive. It's usually about $30 to $40 for the original hardcover. Marvel, I'm looking at you. The fact that you've never reprinted this is a fucking shame. Shame on you, Marvel. All right. Also, what I picked up from him was a Richard Corbin Den, which is this is the second volume in the Dark Horse reprints that I was just talking about, and this is going to be out of print sooner than later. So once again, if you're a Richard Corbin fan, I'd be picking these up as soon as they come out. After Future Dreams, I went over to another staple of the comic book community in Portland, and that is Excalibur Comics. That's on Hawthorne, and I believe they've been open for over 2 decades, maybe even 3 decades. The woman who owns it is the daughter of the original owners. You will not find a better selection of back issues in Portland. The only one that comes close is Cosmic Monkey, and they're probably neck and neck, but I just like Excalibur for some reason a little bit more. No, not trying to throw any shade. So let's take a look inside Excalibur Comics.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm great.
Good, good. Let us know if we can do anything for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, do you need a number one?
It's fine.
Now, I did just get in a relatively decent-sized underground collection.
Oh,
You do
really?
like underground.
I do.
I got all of the Art From stuff out, but these 2 boxes are all underground. And then when you're done browsing through that,
Yeah.
if you want to browse through my unprocessed stuff,
Sure, yeah, I'd love to see.
I happily will let you wander through that. There's some random, just naughty things in there, too.
No, who doesn't like that?
I didn't have anywhere else to put those, so.
Nothing offends me.
Okay, well, that's good.
I mean, except the human race in general, but can't do anything about that.
They're like, if you're going to insist on that, then we're going to take away something we've already signed off on. And so, every time it seems positive, all of the higher ups are suddenly gone, and we're getting these substitute people coming in.
I've never read comics, but it interests me, so I thought, well, if there's anybody, stop in and check it out.
Absolutely. Feel free to open things, look inside, shout out questions that you have. Okay. This new tax is just.
If you know this channel, then you know that it's heavily centered around Todd McFarlane. And since I'm trying to find every Mark Jeweler Todd McFarlane book, I'm always going to dig through the ASM, the Marvel Tales, the Hulk, and just look and see what I can find. You never know what you're going to find until you dig. Dig.
All right. Well, of course I found a Corbin in there.
Mm-hmm.
I am King Arthur. Oh, hi. Yes. So I dug, and I spoke to both of the people working there, including the owner. I didn't get her name, and they let me look through pretty much everything that was available to be sold, even priced some things at the counter for me. So let's take a look at what Dave got. They had just gotten an underground collection in, so it's hard for me to pass up copies of Zap Zero when I see them. This is a second print. Robert Crumb, one of the most iconic covers from the underground scene. End of statement. As well, a book that I've never seen before of Crumb's, There's No Business. This is a Charles Bukowski book featuring R. Crumb illustrations. So excited to dig into that. Even though I'm not a huge Bukowski fan, I still appreciate the writings and that they exist. This is one called R. Crumb's Best Buy. Best Buy Comics. Never seen it before. Excited to check it out. Along with Richard Corbin, thanks to my buddy John for telling me that this existed. This is Richard Corbin illustrating Edgar Allan Poe. This was not priced, but she priced it pretty cheap at the counter for me. I think I paid $10 for it. Never seen it before. Excited to dig into it. Now, what I found kind of funny in Excalibur Comics, they had some books that the price tag indicated that they had Mark Jeweler inserts, and then some didn't. Now, what I have here is Amazing Spider-Man 349. Low key, maybe not so low key after this video, one of the most important Mark Jeweler inserts that exist. Why that is? This is the last Amazing Spider-Man title to bear a Mark Jeweler's insert. ASM 350 is a double-sized issue, which Mark Jeweler inserts were never put into double-sized issues. And then 351 does not have a Mark Jeweler. This book has a publishing date of July 1991. And I'm assuming, maybe I'm a little incorrect, but I think I am close to correct. I'm assuming that the Mark Jeweler inserts ceased to exist, if not in this month, very shortly after. It has a very low print run with a Mark Jeweler's variant. I have looked high and low for these issues. I've only seen 3. 2 of them I own. That doesn't mean that they're non-existent. It just means that they're probably a very, very low print run. The issue doesn't have a key significance, but Amazing Spider-Man, I think, has the longest run of Mark Jeweler inserts. Just to give you an example, Punisher first appearance exists in a Mark Jeweler variant. That's 220 issues prior to this. So when you think about it, how wrong could I truly be? So other Mark Jeweler inserts I picked up was Amazing Spider-Man 344, not marked as a Mark Jeweler insert. That's a lot of mark. Marvel Tales number 232, See Todd, Buy Todd, Dazzler cover, Mark Jeweler variant. If I don't need this for my collection, it will be for sale shortly. Amazing Spider-Man 333 and 334. 334 was marked as a Mark Jeweler variant. 333 was not. Thor 188. Now, I didn't open this up in the store. I just kind of took a look at the little color bar at top, and wow, not Mark Jeweler's, but the National Diamond insert, which I believe, and once again, I might be wrong. I don't know the history offhand, but I think National Diamond becomes Mark Jeweler's. Nice little lot of Mark Jeweler variants at Excalibur Comics. I'm sure there's plenty more for you to find in there. I didn't dig through everything. That was my haul at Excalibur. Cosmic Monkey is another store that's on Sandy. Probably in the top 3. I don't know. It's really hard to rank these because they really serve different purposes. But Cosmic Monkey probably has the biggest new comic book day selection, hardcover trade paperbacks, anime, and then like ephemera. They have a couple of bins of like higher priced or, key issue type things. They have the wall books. They have a little bit of everything. And then upstairs is the kids and magazines. They have a magazine section that is unparalleled in Portland. I mean, just boxes and boxes of different magazines and foreigns and stuff like that. And then their back issue selection is probably about the size of Excalibur. Maybe a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit bigger. But just a fantastic store. You could spend hours there alone. I think I was in there for almost 2 hours.
How you doing? The Jewel Hunter. Magazines. Foreign language, interesting. Oh, that's cool.
Although my personality skews towards chaos, the back room of Cosmic Monkey is a thing to behold. It is absolutely pristinely put in order. You can find all the books you're looking for without struggling, if they have them. The walls are lined with hardcovers and artist editions and so much more. And I encourage you to spend a few hours back here because you surely will want to.
Wrecked.
Another thing I really love about the back room is they have a wall that's dedicated to indie books, but not just indie books, a lot of self-published and small press, things you may not know about, things that you might only find in this part of the country, and it's just a treasure trove if you are willing to take a chance and buy something that you don't know anything about. So one of the things that I picked up at Cosmic Monkey is a book that was literally on my radar for this entire trip, and it's not even for me. Jim Rugg, who you might know from Cartoonist Kayfabe. I had a chat with him on the channel a couple weeks back, and after we were done recording, he asked me if I had ever seen this book, and I said no, I never heard of it. Well, I found it. This is Slime from Eros Comics, The Secret Sex Life of J. Edgar Hoover. I believe Jim is going to be doing some type of other crime story about this, and he needed this for research. Eros Comics has got some of the weirdest books ever released, but they're not easy to find. They're not super expensive. I paid $5 for that, but it has nothing to do with the value. It has to do with, if you're looking for one, how do you find one? I'm not too big onto adult comics, not for any reason. I think they're interesting, they're fun, they're kind of funny that they exist, but I couldn't resist picking up a Debbie Does Dallas #2. Look at that cover. Look at that cover. One of the very unique things I found in the Mask trade paperback from, I believe that's China. I'm not 100% sure on my language, but when I brought it to the counter, he said it was Chinese, so I'm assuming that he knew. But it doesn't look like Japanese. But maybe I'm wrong. So I apologize if I'm wrong. But thought this was pretty neat, and then couldn't resist this either. The solo series from DC, this is the Tim Sale book, but this one is signed by the late, great Tim Sale. That beautiful Catwoman cover. Cosmic Monkey, once again, a fantastic store. Now, Powell's Books is a city block long bookstore in downtown Portland. One of the greatest bookstores in the country, if not the greatest. If you are a book nerd, you will die, go to heaven, be reborn, die again, and go to heaven. And they're open till about 9 o'clock at night. So after dinner, I took a drive over there. I spent a little time, and there was something that I couldn't resist buying in the comic book section. Something I had never seen before from Tomorrow's Publications. This is Image Comics, The Road to Independence. A oral history from the creators of kind of the birth of Image Comics by George Corey. And some great artwork in here, but it's the interviews. You get interviews with everybody, all the founding Image members, as well as Kirkman and a couple others. Not a cheap book. I think it sells for $100 to $150 because when Tomorrow's puts something out, they put it out once, and then physical form, it's never available again. But if you can find one of these, I would buy it. The cover price originally was $35, so it's not too much of an increase. There was a couple other stores I went to that I didn't get anything, and there's a lot of stores that I didn't go to at all. You know, there's books with pictures, there's Things from Another World, there's Rose City Comics, there's Tasty Cat. Look, there is so much to explore in Portland on the comic side, and then there's so much to explore on the food side. I went to some of my favorite restaurants in the country, and they are in Portland, including Nostrana and Canard. So if you're looking for recommendations, please just reach out to me. Like I said, I live there. I've lived close to there, and I've been visiting there since I started living in the Pacific Northwest. And I can't be more ecstatic about how much of a good time I have when I'm there. All right, so the last store I went to is actually not in Portland. You may know it. It's one of the most popular and best stores in the West Coast. It's in Vancouver, Washington, just across the river, and that is I Like Comics. Let's take a look inside I Like Comics.
How are you?
What can I help you with today, my friend?
Just gonna browse on my way back home up to Tacoma. Always stop here on my way back.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Let me know if I can help with anything.
of course. Thank you.
Over here.
I'm with them some kind of See Todd, buy Todd. It's not just a motto, it's a lifestyle. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, is Dave really showing us the inside of the bathroom at I Like Comics? And I am, because there is tons of stuff on the wall, artwork and autographs from all of the creators that they've had in store at past signings, and how could you pass up checking some of this stuff out? If you're looking for a book, Chris at I Like Comics, he most likely has it. If you're looking for it graded, he almost definitely has it. You can find everything from an AF-15 in there to an Amazing Spider-Man 1 to a House of Secrets 92 to a whole slew of Golden Age books, as well as hardcovers galore, rarities, dollar books, 50-cent books, quarter books, whatever it is. They have it. Now, the first thing I hit when I went there was the magazine stuff in the back, and I grabbed a couple of comics features that I've never seen before. Great covers. I don't really care what's inside because you got that Silver Surfer Galactus cover and that Wolverine tearing the cover. I do believe that they do not care about Mark Jeweler variants because I always find them when I go in there. First, Mr. Fix-It and a Mark Jeweler. We've got a couple of another Hulk, which is a Hulk 333, See Todd, buy Todd, Mark Jeweler. A couple of Uncanny X-Men Mark Jewelers, including the first cover appearance of Mr. Sinister.
He's so sinister.
So those were all half price too. But one of the cooler things I bought, I've been trying to find really nice copies of these for a long time. I have never ever owned these before, and I'm really excited. I will probably do a flip through either on an episode or on a Sunday sit down. The Photojournal Guide to Comic Books. Now, I forget when these came out, probably like the late 80s, early 90s, but this has got some great imagery in here. This book set are the kind of books that cause you to buy books that you never knew existed. You know, like Golden Age books, you're like, I need to own that because it's such a dope cover. These are long out of print. I don't know if they've done a new printing or if anybody's attempting to do new printing of those, but really excited to see and learn. These are historical artifacts in the world of comics and art, and I'm really excited to flip through them and just learn about stuff. Look forward to an episode of me going through these. So that wraps it up. 2 days in Portland, which is never enough, but it's always a good time. And like I said, it is a mecca for comics. I don't know of another city in this country that really focuses on the kind of nerdy, geeky culture that we all love as much as Portland. They may not be all the best stores, but the concentration that you will find of stores in this city is such a beautiful thing. So I really hope you enjoyed this. And obviously, I hope to do this in more cities. If there are cities that you would love to suggest to see me go through that have, you know, a really nice bunch of stores, please, I'd love to visit other places that I've never been to or places that I didn't know had so many comic stores, because between, you know, San Francisco, Bay Area, Portland, and Seattle, we have a lot of stores on the West Coast. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. How about that? Same time, same place. I have never. Then after, I think I'll have a quinoa salad and maybe a cup of coffee